presentation here and there, but it will mostly be the Blackboard and what I'm going to do is I'm trying to record the lectures and we'll try to put it up online so that you guys can go back and review it. A lot of the material is actually already available on YouTube. I have already recorded a lot of the lectures from the previous batches and wherever I've taught this course, I've recorded the lectures. So you can, if you want, if you're keen, go to my channel on YouTube and I'll give you those details. You can explore those lecture videos. So again, goal of the course as I mentioned to you earlier, I want you to see diverse challenging careers. And since the portfolio of the class is changing, and I would also encourage the faculty members to pursue research in this area. This is a multidisciplinary field. And if you can start at any place you want. You can do a lot of research, a lot of offshoots of space systems engineering or whatever you design as for space systems are used, and Dr. Agarwal will justify that. They are used here. For example, prosthetics is because it's an outcome of the space research. It's just one of them. And aspire to be rocket science. You often associate the most difficult thing with rocket science or brain surgery, right? So these are the two, the most difficult things. And if you can do rocket science, you can do anything. And the thing with rocket science is, the sky is not the limit, right? You have to go beyond the sky. So there is no limit of being that. And this is what this is the goal, the vision of this course. This is how you should take it. This is the intent of the course. Logistically, what we'll do is, how many of you all are expecting like a grade or something like that from the course?
Grades.
Grades? Are you expecting a grade? You're not expecting a grade? If you're not expecting a grade, that's fine. You'll get a certificate. You are expecting a certificate from the course?
Yes.
So you're going to do some work for the certificate?
Yes.
Assignments?
Yes.
So let's do this, projects and assignments. I'm not going to give you a whole lot of assignments, and I don't expect the faculty members to do it. But the students, that's how you have to just take it, that's how it is. I did it, Dr. Agarwal did it. So you have to do it. So what we'll do is for the certificate, and try to make it interesting, not in the sense of you're trying to buy hard things and I'm asking you questions. We'll try to make it interactive. So I'll give you some articles to review. And I'll ask you to prepare a weekly report of what you have learned. You can do that?
Yes.
Okay. Summarize what you have learned in the week. Okay. So that will, I'll assign about 30% of the grade, so to say, certificate grade for that. Alright? Then we have, this will be a project-based course, so the project design reports. So what you'll do is, as part of this course, course, we're going to engage in designing a satellite, probably a nanosatellite or a picosatellite, right? And you will have to prepare design reports. The whole class will be divided into groups or teams, subsystem teams, and each subsystem will be required to give a report. That report, design report, will be about 40%. And then, generally at the end of the course, what we do is we have a small closing ceremony where we invite a relevant guest. The last two times, Dr. Vasagam, who is a Padma Shri, and he's a renowned ISRO fellow. He comes here, he reviews the work we have done. So that gives you a very nice perspective of what is happening, and an expert will tell you they'll tell you how good your work is. Or so you'll do a poster. You'll do a poster, like a 3 by 4 feet poster. I'll give you a template and all that. And you'll sit there or you stand there and you'll present your work. So that will be about 20%. And then your attendance will be about. Okay, now attendance is. We'll follow an honor system, which means you tell me how much you want for the attendance, or how much you deserve for the attendance. If you've attended all classes, you tell me, sir, I deserve 10 out of 10. I'll give you 10 out of 10. You attend 5, you say 5 out of 10, I'll give you 5. So it's up to you, but you have to be honest. You have to be sincere with this. You just have to tell me how much you deserve, I'll give you that one. Okay? I'm not going to track, I'm not going to note down attendance and say, you did not attend, you attended. Okay? We'll do that. Any questions? So is this okay?
Yes, sir.
So, this is your chance to speak. You will not speak until the end of the course. Is this okay?
Yes.
We can speak in between. See, the course outcomes, and have all of you received the course description?
Yes.
It's probably in your packet as well. It's not in your packet. You have received it by email, the course description.
Yes.
So the course outcomes, I'm looking at these. I'd like you to understand what are PNM cells, and then how to design and develop I'm going to tell you how to design, develop, and launch and then we're going to talk about this question. Why PNM cells? Now keep in mind, speaker has read this. Anybody here knows Stephen Covey? No? See, whenever you do something, or before you want to do something, ask yourself these 3 questions and see if you can answer. What you're doing, how you're going to do it. The most important is why. Right? Just for example, you're here today. Can you answer to yourself, or can you tell me, what are you doing here? What are you doing here?
Attending the classes.
Attending a course in PNM. How are you doing it? You're sitting in a bench, you're listening, right? That is how you're doing. You're taking notes. You're going through all of that. Now, the most important question is, why are you doing this? This is to explore more. The deeper you go, the more fruitful that activity will be. Your career could depend on this course if you take it that way, right? Your life could depend on it if you take it that way. Or it could simply be, I'm attending because I don't have anything to do. So it depends. This question is very, very important. So when we design, when we are trying to launch these satellites, we know what PNM sats are. I can teach you that. Okay. I can also teach you how to design, develop, and launch PNM sats. But together we need to figure out why PNM sats. You understand? There should be, when we talk about why PNM sats, what are we looking at from satellites? Why are we launching satellites?
Information research purpose.
But what is the outcome we're looking from the satellite? Rather than going specific, try to tell me, even as all of you here are engineers,
Yes.
most of you are.
Yes.
So why do you do engineering? Huh?
Explore more about the science.
To explore more, okay. But what is engineers are more
To make products which make lives easier.
to make
Lives easier.
life better, right? To make life simpler, or you are trying to benefit society. See, when that would be more of a scientist or somebody, a philosopher. Those are the people who would try to go and I'm not discouraging you to do that, but engineers are more of, let's look at what the problem is. Let's solve that problem. Let's try to make life better. So we are always looking at, when we look at why, we're looking at societal benefits. And oftentimes, when you're looking at societal benefits, every benefit comes with a downside to it. If a satellite, we've designed automobiles, right, to make life better, but does it have a downside? Pollution. Right? So we have to be, when we talk about satellites, of course satellites have benefits, right? The reason we are launching satellites, almost all of them, we're looking at societal benefits. But at the same time, what is happening with these satellites? They're creating space debris, right? And that is one of the things I'm going to very seriously address as part of this course. We have to understand, whenever we try to do development, we have to evaluate the downside of that. We cannot just be engineers. We invented computers, right? We invented internet. But there is a downside to that. And as humans, we get attracted to the downside more than the benefits. So let's also look at that. So societal benefits, and then we need to talk about intellectual. What is the intellectual gain? In an academic institution, this has to be, whatever you do at an academic institution, you have to have intellectual gains. Otherwise, there is no purpose in academics. Academics, what is the result of being in academics? What do you get?
Skill set. We develop a skill set where we can use it.
You develop skill, but what is more important? What is more important that you get? Skill is one thing, yes, I agree with you.
Knowledge.
Knowledge, or
Applying the skill.
more complete is you get education, right? Education is something, and you don't have to attend an academic institution, but the main purpose, the main intent of an academic institution is education. Now, a lot of you are going to seek degrees. There's a difference between getting a degree and getting an education. And try to get education out of an academic institution. Try to get education out of this activity, right? So that intellectual benefit or intellectual gain is also very important. So we are going to look at intellectual gain and education. Right? So this is what the course is going to be about. What we can do is, any questions?
No.
So everybody is okay with this?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Now what we'll do is we'll get started with. So we'll start with the course. This is what the course is going to give you. Okay. Now the actual thing, we'll start with orbital mechanics background. So when we talk about satellites, how long have we been trying to explore or trying to understand the motion of celestial bodies, or for that matter, the structure of the universe? How long have we been doing it? Forever, right? So until so we have been trying to explore, we have been trying to propose models, propose hypotheses until Kepler came, Johannes Kepler, and he put forth his three laws, Kepler's laws. You guys remember Kepler's laws? Any? Kepler's laws? No? So Kepler, Johannes Kepler and Tycho Brahe contributed significantly. Or what is a law? Anybody?
Which goes to
Something
anywhere in the
Governs the
physical.
physical phenomenon, right? What is something? Where do these laws come from? Observations, right? Somebody has to state them.
Yeah.
Can you mathematically prove a law?
Yes.
Huh?
You need physical information.
After? Can you mathematically prove a law?
No.
What is your answer? Go ahead. Go ahead.
After somebody has observed something, then
Uh-huh.
it's like mathematically we prove that that observation holds true. So we can
Can you prove that mathematically?
not always.
Not all. So that is a correct answer. So strictly speaking, laws cannot be proved mathematically. Okay, when we state a law, that becomes the starting point of doing something. Okay, that itself cannot be proved. For example, Newton's second law. Can you mathematically arrive at Newton's second law? Starting somewhere, can you arrive at Newton's second law? You probably cannot. If you use, to some extent, when Kepler stated his laws, this was before Newton came into existence. When Kepler stated his laws, this was the mathematical foundation. So what he did was, whoever came before Kepler and Tycho Brahe, they only proposed hypothesis. This law involved mathematics. So this was mathematically stated. You could mathematically write it. This could be proved again and again. There was a definite structure to this. Until then, it was like Earth is at the center, Sun is at the center. There was nothing to define. You couldn't apply a particular set of rules to figure out the motion of celestial bodies or planetary objects. So this law became the first something which could be mathematically represented. So the first law, anybody remember the first law? Orbit. So if you look at the first law, the orbit of each planet, so when Kepler put forward his laws were only talking about planet and sun. He was trying to explain the motion of planets around sun. So he said the orbit of each planet is an ellipse with the sun at one focus. What is this focus? So how do you draw an ellipse? So you take two pegs, right? You place it here, and you tie a string around it, and then you trace the path. That is an ellipse. Now, what are those 2 points? Those are the foci. Okay, the sun is at one of the focus, at one of the foci. The sun is not at the center. Keep in mind, very, very critical. Sun is never at the center. The sun is at the focus. So if you look at this, we'll come to that. Let me state the second law. The second law states that equal area is equal area. Line joining planet the sun sweeps equal areas in equal. This is the second law. And the third law, I'll just give the third law as well. What is the third law? It relates the time period and the distance. Right? So it says the square of the time period of a planet is proportional to the cube of its mean distance. It's very important that you call. You say that mean distance. Okay. Mean distance from sun. Now pay attention here. I'm using a capital S for sun. Why so? Sun is a star. Okay. So even The same goes for Earth. Earth is a planet. So if you use Earth, you have to use a capital E. Alright? So these are the three laws, Kepler's laws. Let's try to understand these, because this is once. See, here's what you need to. If you want to learn about space, you have to switch on your. You have to flip your switch and get your mind in space. Okay? You have to think how are these satellites working in space. You cannot in your mind you cannot live here. You cannot live on ground and think about space. So this allows you to do that. This will flip that switch for you. And it will take this. The law here it seems very simple, right? But if you try to understand these, there are so many outcomes from these laws, and we may not look at all those exhaustively. But you can, if you take a course on orbital mechanics. People here, some of you are from aerospace background. So if you take a course on orbital mechanics, you understand the depth of these laws. Okay? And I want you to go explore what these laws translate. And flip your switch. Now flip your switch. And don't flip off that switch until you get something in order. And see what it does. You will start living in another dimension. Right now, we are so used to living in two dimensions. Space is three dimensions. You have to flip your switch and start living in three dimensions. So if you look at an ellipse, an orbit, a Keplerian orbit, is always a plane. You understand? Even in space, if something is rotating, is the plane changing the Earth's plane, orbital plane? You understand the orbital plane? The orbital plane itself is same. Okay, it's always this. So have you noticed how the different planes of the planets are all the same? So the plane itself may change, but a specific orbit is always going to be the same plane. Okay, we are not going to do this. Alright. So that is the reason we're going to, if you look at it from the top view, this is how it looks. This is the orbit. Okay. What is here? Sun. This is F, this is F star. These are the two foci, and you're going to see the sun here. Okay. And what will be here? So if you look at it, so this is what it says, the first law. The orbit of each planet is an ellipse. So the planet is going to do this, right? It's going to keep orbiting in this plane. This is the path it's going to take for. The path will change a little bit over thousands or even millions of years, but it's going to be pretty much the same in one's lifetime. Okay. So if you look at that, this is where the sun is, and this is where Earth is, for example. Okay. Let's take this. Now let's look at the second law. Now Earth, this is, let's say, at time t equal to t1, right? And let's look at Earth at t equal to t2. And this is, we just assume this point as t equal to t0. This is where it all starts. Earth will be here as well. What the second law says is, let's say this is D, A1, and this is DA2. DA1 is DA2 is the small area, right? Area. So DA1 divided by DT1 is equal to DA2 divided by DT2. What is T1, T2? T1 is T0, you can say T0 minus T1. And T2 is T2 minus, sorry, it's like this, T1 minus T0, and T2 is T2 minus T1. You get it? Or I can say D, let me do this, DT. Is this confusing or it's okay?
That should be T1. Yes.
Alright. So you have DT1 is T1 minus T0, and DT2 is so what is, let's say, what will I write here? So let's say I'm equating this, okay, with this.
T2 minus T0.
dt, t2
T2 minus T0.
minus t. You see that? So that is what is happening. So what happens is, and now is what gets interesting. What is the area of this sector? How do you figure out the area of a sector? How a lot of formula? Half height into? It's a triangle, right? The sector, this itself is r theta, right? And this, the base is, you can either take this or the average base. So average base into half average base into, or base is this sector and height is this. Okay? So it will be half the this thing into that. Now, if you look at it, this area has to be the same, right? If, for example, if I want to make BA1 equal to, let's say, so let's say this is BA3. If this is BA3 and this is BA1, I'm assuming BA1 is equal to BA3. Got it? What is happening then is, this is smaller, right? The height is smaller here. Got it? But the base, if the height is smaller, this base has to be larger for the area to be equal. Because this base is, this height is bigger. So this base has to be smaller. So the time it takes to go from here to here is the same as time it takes from here to here. So it will have more time to cover this. So you're going to see much, it's going to go slower here. You see that? It's have to go faster here. Because of this. Huh? So that is, what you can say is, here, the earth is orbiting at its fastest. Correct? And here it is slower. And that is what this law says. Okay? Everybody clear on this? Need more explanation? Anybody is not clear? You guys? Okay? So this is what Kepler's second law says. And this is a very important law. This law also means, or also translates to conservation of momentum. Okay, this is momentum conservation. and we'll talk about that. But this law, all these three laws, they are not just those things. They mean much more than what they state, and that is what you need to explore. You're clear of these two laws, the first two laws. So if you're launching, now think about satellites. Before we get to the third law, if you make this highly elliptical orbit, right? So let's say something like this. Imagine how far you're going, and it's coming back again, right? So you could almost go till the sun and come. You understand? But it'll be much slower here. It'll be really, really fast here. You got it? You'll have any time left, any time to talk to the satellite or get something from the satellite. But what it can do is you can reach out much farther. You don't have to always, you don't have to. So what is going to happen is, let's say, in olden times, how did they send notices or messages? Somebody would be close. They would hand over the message, and that person would run, deliver the message and come back. So here you can instruct the satellite to gather the information when it goes there, and the satellite will take that information, go here. So when it is here, you may not be able to communicate. There's big limitation when it goes too far, right? At that time, what is going to happen is there is so much utility here. For example, all of your comments which keep coming back are in this highly elliptical order. Okay? So this is now the third law. It says the square of the time period. What is time period? Time period is the time taken by the planet to complete one revolution. Or so we're going to switch our language from saying revolution to orbit. Okay, we're going to say complete one orbit. Right? So the time taken for the satellite, for the planet to go to orbit from this point and come back here. That is the time period. That time period is proportional to the cube of the mean distance. You see? So if you're trying to speed up, what is going to happen? Can you race here? Let's say there are two satellites in the same path. Can one catch up with the other? Huh? What happens if one tries to catch up with the other?
They go to a different orbit.
It goes to a different orbit. So you cannot really control the speed here. The speed is set. For an orbit, the speed is set. If you try to control, it's going to go to, if you slow down, it's like, let me wait for somebody's coming behind, let me slow down. What's going to happen? It's going to go to a smaller orbit. So this is what that law says. The time period is always proportional to the mean distance. Okay, the time period, you cannot speed up or you cannot slow down. Speed up, your mean distance will increase, right? Slow down, your mean distance will decrease. So the orbit itself will change if you try to speed up or slow down. That is what it says. Okay. Any questions until now?
No.
Alright, so you want to take a break and come back? Or you want to continue? We continue? So this law is clear. All three laws are clear. So this is what Kepler stated. Now, when Kepler stated his laws were laws, right? There was no mathematics that could be done to arrive at those laws. You understand? But when Newton came along, Newton's laws were, what we're trying to do is, when we try to do fundamental research, what is fundamental research? Where are we trying to get? Any answers? What is fundamental research in physics, for example?
Learning the basics. Newtonian laws.
Where are we trying to? Where is it headed? We cannot do research without specific goals, right? So when you do fundamental research, for example, fundamental research in physics, where are we trying to head? What are we trying to find?
Elementary particles.
Elementary particles, something very fundamental, right? One law which describes the working of the whole universe. That's what we have been trying from decades, from centuries, millions of years. We are trying to give. It's like trying to write one perfect joke, which is like the foundation of all jokes. Something on those lines. So what we are trying to do is, when these were stated, it only applied to planets and orbits of planets around Sun. So when Newton came along, he was so powerful, or you can imagine the way he stated the law, the first law he stated. Did he do any research, any mathematics, anything to? Can you come up with Newton's the universal law of gravitation by observation? Can you do that? Can you think about this? You can do. Okay, you take some measurements. You can do this. You can draw. You take the measurements, draw, and say, okay, this is. But think about what he said about gravitation. So his first law, Newton's law. His first contribution was universal law of gravitation, right? What kind of observations are you going to do to come up with this? What does the universal law of gravitation say? Every body is attracted to each other by a force, and that force is equal to proportional to the square of the product of the masses and inversely proportional to the square of the distance. Right? This is what he stated. How can you possibly think about this law? How can you possibly observe this law? We understand this, we are not able to appreciate what he did. And how much ever you think we will fall short. But what observations can you possibly do to come up with this? It had to be intuitive. He just woke up one day and said, this has to be the universal law of gravity. Okay, so he was trying to, in his efforts, Newton in fact was trying to define God in a sense. Trying to formulate the God. He came up with this. So he said, this will explain everything in the universe. Can you imagine, can you just accept something like this? No. It's very difficult to do that. Okay. So of course he built up on whatever was done on this, but this was a very, very powerful law. Okay. And this translates to something like this. Okay, the universal law of gravitation, which means you have a larger body with m as the mass, and then you consider a smaller body with mass small m. This distance or this is the position vector of small m with respect to
Larger mass.
larger m, and the force of attraction is where is the, so you're talking about the force of attraction the force of attraction on this one due to this one. That is this force. Okay. Now what is the force of attraction? So if I say this is F m to m, what is F m to m? Minus of that. It's equal. Force is equal. The force of attraction due to this on this one and the force of attraction due to this on this one is the same. Okay, so this is simply minus G m divided by R. So this is what he stated. This was his first contribution to Newton's law of universal gravity. He had, of course, he had data, or of course, he had some background, right? Research. What is research? It is searching which has it involves searching which has already been things which have already been done. So when you do research, the first thing you want to do is go back and see what has been done. If you come up with an idea, go back and see if somebody has come up with an idea, with a similar idea. Got it? That is research. So you have to. He had a lot of things to build upon, but this coming up with something like that is still considered very, very powerful. And this is the reason, the way what he did for several centuries until Albert Einstein came along. This was, everybody just accepted it as Bible. This was even more powerful than the Bible itself. Okay, Newton is considered so great. Even Jesus takes back seat. So that is the universal law of gravitation, and then his other contribution, other big contribution was Newton's laws of motion, right? And when we talk about laws of motion, what is the first law? We need to talk about law of
Inertia.
inertia, right? So when you talk about law of inertia, what does it say?
Without an external means of force, it doesn't exist from the
The body continues to be in a state of rest or of uniform motion unless acted upon by an external force. So that is the law of inertia, right? So everybody will do that, right? This earth is in a state of motion, so it is going to stay in motion. Anything at rest?
Continues to be the same.
Huh? Anything at rest?
There's nothing rest.
There's nothing. Right, but relative rest is defined. Relative rest in the sense relative inertia. For example, the big rocks and those things, those are all in a state of rest. So until it's acted upon by external force, they will continue to be in that state of inertia. Okay. So the first law is law of inertia. And the second law is law of momentum. Right? So what does the law of momentum say? Rate of change of momentum. Linear momentum. Keep in mind, linear momentum. It is not just momentum. Especially people with background in mechanical engineering or aerospace engineering or physics. You have to. In fact, there is no excuse for any engineer not to know these. First of all, that's what I believe. And you have to know what is linear momentum. Okay, you have talked about linear. The law of momentum, linear momentum, states F is equal to acceleration, again don't make that mistake, is always change in linear momentum. Okay, this is not alright. Keep in mind, don't say F is equal to ma. That's not true always. Right? So what is this equal to?
M into dv by dt.
You take the derivative of this. What is the derivative of this? M into is the product rule, right? M into v dot. V dot is acceleration. Plus you have to take v into m dot. When we talk about planetary bodies, this is 0. M dot is 0. There is no change. But when you talk about, if you're talking about space and satellites and rockets, this is very, very important. This is how a rocket will work. Alright? So what is this m dot in the case of rocket? What is happening? Fuel loss. Causing fuel loss, right? Mass loss is happening, and that is creating a thrust. Okay, so that mass loss is creating a thrust, and that is the reason you are going up. The first part is when the rocket is on land. So if you hit like this, what happens? The ground hits you back, right? But that is not happening once the rocket is in air. This is what is causing the thrust. So in whatever direction the mass loss is happening, the thrust is in opposite direction. Okay. So that is the reason rockets work the way they do. So these are laws of freedom. Then the third law, which is very popular, law of action and reaction. Now, when you combine, so I'm going to stress on this one and this one. When you combine the law of universal gravitation and second law, okay, what you're going to end up is, and do some math on it. So when you combine that, the universal law of gravitation and this second law, so here you actually use just this part. So you don't actually need this when you're talking about the two-body problem. What is a two-body problem? The two-body problem is, now imagine where are these laws applicable before we get into that. What do you know about where these laws are applicable? They are only applicable in an inertial frame. They don't apply in a non-inertial frame. So if you are trying to apply the laws of Newton's laws on a plane, on an aircraft, especially which is tumbling, these laws won't hold true. So you have to reference the motion of the plane itself with respect to an inertial frame. So that is what you need to know. That is what you need to understand. So these laws are only applicable in an inertial frame. Now what is an inertial frame? What do you know is an inertial frame? Or how do you define an inertial frame?
That's fine.
Fixed. But there is nothing fixed in the universe. What is an inertial frame? How did Newton define an inertial frame? Constant velocity. A non-accelerating frame is or a constant velocity frame is an inertial frame. Is there anything which is not accelerating in space? Is Earth not accelerating? No. It's accelerating. If it didn't accelerate, what would happen?
Its distance
It would spiral into this inertial frame? What is not accelerating? Is the moon not accelerating? Is sun not accelerating? Is sun not accelerating? Sun is accelerating, right? Sun is accelerating around probably
Center of
center of a galactic center. So what is not accelerating? Nothing is not accelerating, right? So where is this acceleration? Newton was so smart. He just said assume some non-accelerating frame, okay, and these laws will be applicable in that frame. So when we talk about this thing, we look at relative non-acceleration when we apply these laws, and that's what you have to be. So if the Earth is moving, see if you attach a frame to the Earth's rotating this thing, if you attach a frame to Earth, the frame which is rotating the Earth, that is a accelerating frame. If you attach a frame which is not rotating with Earth, I'm talking about only rotation, not revolution. Okay. So if you attach a frame to Earth which is not rotating, that is a inertial. If you attach a frame to Earth which is rotating, that is a which is rotating, that is a non-inertial. You understand? So if you're talking about relatively constant velocity frame. What is a reference frame? How do you define a reference frame? What do you need? So there's a reference frame is nothing but a set of points. What is a rigid plane? How do you define a rigid plane? The distance between the set of points will not change. That's a rigid plane. That is also a reference plane. So these set of points where the distance between the points is not changing, that's a reference frame. And that frame, those points, if those points are moving with constant velocity, that is a inertial frame. Now when you attach a coordinate system, that becomes a reference coordinate system. Got it? Coordinate system, we are convenient with, or we are comfortable with the Cartesian coordinate system. Right? But that is not so. This is the Cartesian coordinate system. Always keep in mind, don't use your left hand. Cartesian coordinate system, you have x, y, and z. This has to be the order. X, y, z. So you cannot do x, y, z. X, y, z. Y, z, x. You have to cyclically rotate. Okay. So that is a reference coordinate system. Now all these are applicable in the inertial reference frame. See? So now what is this? This two-body problem, what it does is, what it defines is, this R, sorry. So you have the M here, and you have this distance is R. Okay? And what we are trying to do is, we are trying to define, so when we try to define Earth's motion, the reference, the R is the distance, or it's not the distance, this is the position vector of the orbiting body with respect to the central body. Got it? Here the central body is Sun. So this is R. Now you see this R is changing?
Yes.
Right? So this R is changing actually. But this is how you define the position vector, okay, of the orbiting body with respect to the central body. What is this mu? Mu is nothing but Gm is mu. Okay? You can practically ignore this m. Compared to the mass of the central body, the mass of the orbiting body is always, even if it is Sun, Earth, Moon, mass of these smaller bodies is almost always. Okay, so this is where you doing all of that, you're going to get this. This mu is Gm, the gravitational parameter. So this gives you the this defines the how the motion is. This is a problem. This is a problem statement which we will try to. Now, what is the process? I'll just complete this and we'll take a break and come back and then we'll continue. What is the process of engineering?
Solving problems.
So that is what you do. You solve problems, right? But what is the process of solving problems? How do you, as engineers, how do you solve problems? You understand the problem. Then what do you do?
Possible ways to solve.
But you have to use. Keep in mind, you have to use physics and mathematics. Okay. So once you understand the problem, what do you do? Huh? Gather all the known data. Okay.
Get the governing equations.
You have to get the governing equation. So as physics, see, I think what we do is when we become too comfortable as engineers, we keep aside physics and mathematics. So we don't want to do that. We want to always use physics as much as possible. It's not always easy to use physics, but what you do is, so when I'm trying to, when you look at your problem, you look at what are the governing principles, right? And then use those governing principles to formulate the problem as a mathematical problem or a mathematical statement. This is that mathematical statement of the two-body problem. Then once you have the mathematics, you have the problem stated as mathematics, you can seek a mathematical solution and go back and interpret the solution as the physics. You see it? So the process is you look at the problem, you study the problem, right? You can gather data, you can see what solutions exist. But when you actually, before you start solving, you have to formulate, you have to use the governing principles to write that problem as a mathematical problem. Mathematics has a solution, right? A mathematician and a physician or a physicist will simply, you take two problems. The two problems may have the same mathematical statement. The two problems may have the same mathematical solution. But that does not mean the two problems have the same solution. So you can take an electrical engineering problem, you can take a mechanical engineering problem, formulate the same differential equation as the mathematical statement of that problem. How do you solve a differential equation? There are various ways of solving a differential equation. This is you see this as a differential equation? Yes. What is the order of the differential equation? It's a second order differential equation. It's a second order non-linear differential equation in R. So this is also this could also be a did I change anything? This becomes a first order, right? This becomes a algebraic problem. See that? So you have to also understand that differential equation is a problem in a particular variable, in a particular physical quantity. So when I define this, this becomes a secondary or second order differential equation in R. It's a non-linear differential equation because of this term. Okay. So if you look at this, this is a second order non-linear differential equation which defines the motion of the orbiting body with respect to the central body. Now, we'll take a break and come back and look at what is the solution. Alright? How long do you want the break to be? 5 minutes is enough? Let's gather at 12. 12 is enough? You guys have to have, when do you want to have lunch? Go to skip lunch today? We'll meet at 12 and then continue till 1 o'clock. And then you can go for